Call of Duty League is presented by T-Mobile, now America's largest and fastest 5G network. Set your sights on the competition with T-Mobile, the leader in 5G. Scuff, the official controller of the Call of Duty League. Seany, the official eyewear for the CDL. Armor your eyes with Seany Blocks blue light protection glasses by visiting seany.com/gaming.
Hi friends and welcome back. I feel like we've been doing this a few times before, but hey, I'm super happy to talk to you. I nearly had to pull out the tic-tac-toe just to be safe, but we're good to go. No need to worry. That definitely is not gonna turn into a meme on Reddit. All right, stud. So I've been told that we're not far away whatsoever. We're getting everything sorted. But we still have to talk about this series, kind of get more in depth, get more well acquainted with what this means. Now, for those that are kind of new, just tuning in, we are experiencing a few problems, but we're figuring everything out, and everything is going to be solved in just a matter of moments. No worries whatsoever. Let's go and take a look, though, at our quick scope presented by Scuff. And like we said, stud, this match, of course, is for the 5th versus 6th seed. The winner of this gets 5th. Loser, fortunately, boom, you got the 6th seed in this particular Group B. But as we take a look through the quick scope, what you see, the hardpoint records, 12-28 for LAG, 15-23 there from the Ravens. I mean, I guess it's kind of hard to point out because both these teams have just not had a ton of success, but is it fair to say that the Ravens are highly favored in this hardpoint, or do you think it's more 50-50?
I think the Ravens are a little bit more favored in their hardpoint game because if you're just going back to the series that LAG played versus Toronto, it's not like Toronto just completely outslayed them. They were just so good at just getting the kills at the right time and flipping those spawns. And one thing that LAG need to really work on in their hardpoint is just their setups. Their initial setups are everything. The fact that one player is dropping and you're immediately spawning across the map, that's not how you want to execute those plays. You need to just make sure that all your team pushes and team setups are at least set up to where you have multiple barriers to where you're not dying, you can still spawn in the back and still help your teammates off of spawn. And that's just something that they were really struggling with, at least versus a team like Toronto, who are top 3 team in the game for sure.
Without a doubt, my friend. Like I said, it's just a number of different things you have to point out, a lot of little things that could cause potentially what result that we have. And like a lot of little things, obviously, we can point out so far throughout the season that have caused where these teams to be at so far here in Stage 4. But another look here at our maps and modes, and I guess taking a look at the vetoes. I mean, it's kind of nice to see exactly how both these teams feel about each other. I think it's fair to say, no surprise, LAG, they just wiped away Apocalypse. Don't even want to try it, don't want to test it, don't want to give Ravens any unnecessary advantages.
And the only thing that's really difficult for the veto for me from London is that Garrison. And I know that's one of LAG's stronger hardpoint maps is going to be Garrison hardpoint. But that's another map where you can use PaulEhx, his 3rd sub ability, to really take over games for you, to make sure you're keeping up that pressure, picking up a lot of kills with your SMG players. And that's something that I wasn't expecting, at least in those vetoes. Like I said, the second half of the series, they got the Garrison, they got the checkmate. So that's going to be in their backbone for this series.
Absolutely, my friend. And I'm being told some information. I've been getting official word. The game is ready. The game is ready to go.
Yes.
Oh, man, I tell you what. I love you, LA Guerrillas. You guys are absolutely phenomenal. I think the social media work that you guys do is absolutely great. But I think that something is slightly cursed. That I don't want to go out there and, say anything specifically because I went on the record saying that Standoff was cursed. But I think there could be something with Guerrillas. Lag is in their name. I don't know.
Something in the air. It's got to be something in the air, man. I'm telling you.
I love those guys. That's unfortunate, but I just feel like every time we get into a series with them, I think it's got to become a meme now. Like whenever they played, I think it was Dallas Empire, Vivid instantly goes over to the other team. Like they also have technical problems in that game, and it's like, okay, there must be some kind of connection here. But into the game 1, folks. It will be hardpoint Ray to start this bad boy off. We talked about what's the Ravens' slight advantage maybe coming into this one just based off the overall record, and also, it's fair to say they have won a hardpoint so far throughout this stage. Fortunately, the same thing cannot be said for the Guerrillas. 0-6 coming into this, and I guess for LAG, I know we've kind of talked about it, but is it the ARs that you're looking out for, or is it somebody else?
On a map like this, on a map like Raid where your ARs can hold down a lot of these power positions, I'm definitely looking at the ARs. And specifically, I'm looking at Chino. Because recently, so far in Stage 4, he hasn't really been performing at his best, but he's a guy that when he's playing great, the energy that he's going to bring to the team is going to go through every single player. So you need a guy like him to step up for that early momentum.
We'll see if that, in fact, can be the case. This Ravens, off the rip, do have those preferred spawns. But you see the nice double challenge coming through here out of Pillars, and with that, Guerrillas to try and claim control. aBeZy leading the way to start this one off. A guy that we said, again, can be at times one of the most dangerous on the map when he can get going. Thankfully for the Ravens, Afro was able to shut him down before any more work could be done. And Alex finding himself in a pretty interesting spot. The opportunity to try and defend off what appears to be a nice little moment there for the Guerrillas as they have that backside spawn now for P2.
Yeah, so now this is going to be that gunfight that LAG need to try to put to their advantage, as kills are going to go back and forth. Early setup for the Ravens are going to be in. Seany from this top pocket, able to take down one, gonna find the second. And that's going to be the spawns now flipped for the Ravens. The only player that's going to be left back here is going to be Chino. He's going to drop, so now all of LAG are spawning out towards the middle of the map. This is a perfect setup for the Ravens. They should be able to put a good chunk of time here and start growing this lead a little more.
Yeah, nice moment here for London on the 8-team streak. Alex being one of those players, and we talk often about this guy, of course, rejoins the Ravens after a leave of absence. Also, we talk about, they haven't gotten a victory as of yet, but everybody knows how dangerous Alex has been kind of throughout his career, specifically at the start of Modern Warfare with Minnesota Røkkr. I mean, he was a terror on the map, and with that, the Ravens looked very good to grab the last 10 seconds. Then we'll have a lot of conversations that kind of throughout this series, throughout this game, about players who kind of need to step up, guys who we're looking out for, but silly, hard to avoid it. 0-4 to start off our first few hills.
Yeah, it's not the start you want to have if you're silly. Now it's all about just trying to bounce back off of this P3 hardpoint. Right now, LAG, they have a nice and early setup, but with those two players dropping, pitches coming in from both sides, the Ravens are going to be on the pinch. Afro winning his, Alex from the backside, and that's going to be a clean break from the Ravens. And that's just a problem that we've seen with LAG, at least in the series versus Toronto, is that when they're early setup for these hard points, it's that one initial break, man. The setup needs to be better for LAG.
Yeah, you have to imagine that the Ravens right now, in terms of the comms, they've got to be feeling good. In fact, let's actually go and find out exactly how those things are sounding as we'll go to an Astro listening with the London Royal Ravens.
Front.
aBeZy still holding.
I'm sorry, front.
I'm going water.
That's anything I add. That's anything.
I saw one shot front.
I hear. I'm going to video. Yo, P5.
Watch your money window.
P5 dead.
Nice, good job.
Watch your money window.
Nice.
Good shit.
I'm in money.
One shot, I'm going.
Yo, come catch.
Get insane, double shoot.
I hear. I'm gonna lay down. Catch absolute money.
Fuck it. Money. Go front. Go front.
Two of them.
Absolute. One more. Dead. Good shit. Let me spot. I'll get front. I'm going to fight jungle already. Fight jungle away. Stay front. One shot. Fight jungle, Chino. Stack it.
Yeah, I'm stacking.
Watch
Go lay down.
Yeah, watch over me. Pass in that.
I didn't know that.
Do that one more.
Nice.
You shot it in.
Pillars right now, so.
Yo, chop pillars.
He's on the
They can hold. I'll get team. Spread it. I'll have you water now. Please again.
Yo, make him push.
I'll catch.
L1, back up water.
Outer ring chain. Ignore him.
Make sure you get P1 if you can. I'll have you water.
Mounted jiggle pillars. Just jiggle pillars.
Yeah, kitchen. What? Come watch those now. Can I help you? We have Divider now.
I'm Zigger now. I'm watching our pinch.
Catch in Divider.
Art dead.
Top you on. I'm trying to top you on. Top you on, Chino dead.
I'm holding.
One minute. Right, hold it, I'm blocking you guys.
I'm holding ring.
Dead.
Yo, look at kit.
Outer ring, absolute guys. He's top ring.
Yeah, you're going to pitch. I need to get now.
Yeah, one stop ring.
Stack, you know.
What's that?
Up by over 100 seconds as we're in the first set of rotations still. The Ravens have officially woken up and showed up to this game. Stud, what'd you make of the comms there from London?
Man, it sounds like they are ready for war. Like, just listening to those comms right there, everyone was giving energy, even when someone was picking up such a regular 1 or 2 piece on the map. London right now, they're just acting like they haven't lost a map all stage, they haven't lost a series all stage, and they are coming out ready to fire, looking like a well-oiled machine in this map number 1, already breaking that 200-point mark. LAG, when we went into that listening, they were early set up for that P4, but immediately the Ravens were able to break in, and then they chained it to P5. This has just been a chain reaction the entire game. The Ravens are playing perfect hardpoint to start this series.
Yeah, I mean, we just feel like LAG at times, like they've been correct on the rotations, they've been making the right plays. It's just been, when the slang has to be there, Stud, it hasn't shown up. It's not been able to match anybody, and so far it has by no means matched the Ravens, as now Paul is able to exercise his feelings now on the 4 spree. And with that, they can actually win it here. The Ravens could literally win it in 6 hills. We'll see if that can be the case, as LAG have to do something. They have to break in for a moment. The Shiny looks to destroy trophies. See what the break can possibly look like. Silly loses the fight, and aBeZy may have, in fact, found the lane, but what really does that matter? And we are 10 seconds away from this one being done and dusted. LAG get the flip spawn, so they're at least able to grab time at P1, but by doing that, they've now given the Ravens control over the next hill. Gene, in a moment, in a situation where he has to go big, not gonna happen. Silly does find 2. Again, you just look at the scoreboard, it's too little too late.
Yeah, it's just only a moment of time, man, until the Ravens are able to close this out. But LAG, they're doing a good job winning a couple gunfights towards the backside. Afro and Alex getting the trades. Afro with 2, trying to go for the 3rd, and he's able to get it. The rookie coming out in this map number 1, and the Ravens just came out in that map number 1 and punched LAG straight in the mouth. That was perfect hardpoint from start to finish, and the Ravens go up 1-0.
How fast was that? Like, we're talking like time
man,
limit. Like,
that was
that like 4 minutes 30 seconds? Felt like it.
That was 7 hardpoints. Like, that was 7 different hardpoints right there. They did that. They didn't even hit the 3rd rotation or nothing. That was so fast out of the Ravens. Just so clean. Like I said, Lando, every time LAG were on the rotation early, fully set up for a setup, Ravens just broke in with their first initial push, and they were just continuously picking up those 40 seconds, picking up those 50 seconds, and that's why the lead is just so big. Eventually, LAG had to stop the bleeding, and unfortunately, they couldn't the entire map.
Yeah, I guess, like, I mean, at this moment, I mean, you just kind of see the shock on their face. They're just like, okay, well, that's kind of unfortunate. Now we've lost our 8th hardpoint game in a row. The streak only continues, and we're talking about like breaks, and oftentimes teams struggle, Stud, with the the rotation side of things. I feel like I said, LAG are doing the right things. But tell me, how are they not setting themselves up for success? Like, how are you not winning these fights when you're putting yourselves in the right position?
It just doesn't make any sense to me. The fact that they are set up early for that P4.
I'm gonna ask you a question that can't be asked, I guess.
Yeah, it's like, because they were set up for that P4 when we went in for that listening, and that was their bounce back, because obviously they lost Kitchen, they set up for that P3 early and got broken, so now it's P4. This is where you need to answer. They had 2 players on hill, 1 player in Kitchen, and then 1 player camping towards the backside. 2 players drop at the same time, they spawn away across the map, and Ravens, they just break it immediately, and that's just something that LAG definitely have to work on, man. It's just their setups in their hardpoint game.
Yeah, and they're gonna have to regain, and quick. Now coming into the search to destroy, the Ravens have got to be feeling good, as you like to imagine. They get the W, and they get it in dominant fashion. They have woke up and are feeling dangerous. Perhaps a search to destroy look. It will be on Miami when we come back after this.
The Call of Duty League is presented by the US Army. What's your warrior? USAA is made for gamers. Level up your gear protection with USAA Insurance.
I told you folks it was going to be a bumpy ride, and so far it has been for the Guerrillas camp, as that was a very quick hardpoint. Tell you what, I was not expecting that, Stud. I was not expecting that whatsoever. One of the more dominant hardpoints that we have seen so far throughout this year, as London claim victory in a way, like I said, that not a whole lot of people expected it to. Like, I think a lot of us coming into this series expected it to be a more close affair, but that hardpoint, not at all the case. But let's go and continue on with this conversation about LAG stud, because like we said, it's been a rough stage for both of these teams. As we take a look at the KDs, the ranks so far, it's just not been there. Like, it's not one player stepping up. It is a team affair where nobody has had a good performance.
Yeah, it's just hard, man, when you're setting up the way you are in hard points. Like, the fact that one of you guys are dropping and then all you guys are spawning out once all your teammates drop, it's impossible to have to put up good stats because you're playing from the back foot consistently. It's really hard to just walk into those pre-aims and try to win those gunfights because they're a lot harder when you're not playing at your best. And right there, the Ravens, they just made them look easy on that map number 1. Like I said, LAG, every time they rotated, they just got broken immediately. So that needs to be that fix that they're going into the major. They need to work on that hard point, at least in their setups. But going into this map number 2, this is a map where LAG can definitely bounce back. As Miami Search and Destroy, this is one where we've seen them even take down the looks of Atlanta FaZe on this map just because of their slow play. Their slow and steady offensive pushes really helped them on this map, and hopefully they're able to tie the series up with a couple round wins here.
I mean, give it to me straight. Like, LAG, let's say that they, come out slow, into the Search Destroy, they drop it. I mean, how serious of a game 2 is this for Guerrillas right now? Does it have series implications of, like, they drop this, most likely don't win the series? Where does this rank for you?
It's everything. No, this is everything, because the map number 3 is going to be Garrison Control, which is they only won it twice this year, and that's going to be London, second best control map, 6-4 on the year. So this needs to be the answer right here for LAG. We know what they're capable of on a map like Miami, as they're sitting at 5-4 on the season compared to London, who are 2-2. London, they have just been struggling with S&E recently. 0-5 in their last couple of games, 0-3 in their round 11. So if it does go all the way to the wire, at least you have that in your back pocket for LAG.
Yeah, that's a good point. So already Guerrillas put in a position where they got to put up. They have to do something, and already into the action in this first round. You see an engagement going down between Sheen and Afro. That will be one that has to wait, I guess, for now, as the rotation appears to be over at B, but you see Afro not too content in wanting to give this one up just yet. Both players, I guess you could say, looking for the cross and both issuing out the information. We'll see what the push looks like. Again, Sheen, because he's hanging out over at A, gonna give the comms that, hey, it has to be a B push. Yet the CD body over at this portion of the map, but with this gun challenge, with this push coming in from Afro that could change things up, he's not gonna see Sheen. He does. Spots him in the corner. So with that, 3 versus 2. Ravens with the advantage. It all comes down to Silly and aBeZy hanging out toward top purple, but it's on the stairs. The trades are in, and the Ravens are able to get the job done.
They just slowly picked them apart, and that was just great plays right there out of Afro. He knew that engagement came in with Chino. Obviously, his teammates are trying to give comms, saying that they're slowly rotating up towards B, but Chino's not going to give up this position. He's not going to cross to the middle of the map and try to stack with that teammate and give up that A bomb site. So he slowly works up that beach side and is able to find that kill. And then at that point, you have both players from LAG who are camping in towards that purple area. And they just got picked apart right there. Ravens, they took their time on their offensive push. Seany and Afro both getting 2 kills in a round. Good round right there to the Ravens.
I know I mentioned it for a moment. I was like, I didn't think that Afro was going to check his corner, but thankfully he does. Looks both ways before crossing, and that will save you, folks. Absolutely does there for Afro. Now into the next round. LAG on the attack. aBeZy. He's trying to make some noise here over at B. Just looking for some information. He's already tossed out the Simtex, but again, no information yet from the Guerrillas to move off from. And London aren't about to give them anything to work off of either. Bomb still sits toward Middle Street. It appears based off the player count where they've got most of their forces, it appears to be now over at A. As things begin to solidify, it's going to be Seany, sole man over at A.
Yeah, I'm just making sure that I grab my pillow and my blanket because these rounds right here for LAG on offense are really slow, so you might take a nap in the middle of it. But finally, the action is going to be here with 30 seconds left. They back down Seany off of this A-bomb, so now it's all about working this bomb plant. But you got to keep on vision on number 8, which is going to be aLLeY. He's going to have a vision on that bomb player. He's trying to take him down, but no. Here comes aBeZy on the flank, able to get that first blood. The trade is going to come in from Afro, so now it's a 3v3. Just keep in mind, that position right now out of aLLeY, he knows that there's going to be one player over there towards that beach side. He's trying to solo him out as Chino's picking up a kill towards the left side beach. But aBeZy's able to win it, and just like that, LAG are able to respond with the slow and steady offensive round. Slow and steady wins the race. LAG get it done there.
You talked about, Rubbing your pillow and your blanket. It was Father App putting the children to
Take
sleep.
their time.
It was Father App putting the kids to bed. Reading them a bedtime story. aBeZy's got to be a great dad. He just looks like a wonderful person, you know?
100%, he's got to be. That's my guy.
He's like a wonderful.
Into this,
I have no idea how to pronounce his last name, but he's a great guy.
Neither do I.
Like Zelatov, maybe something like that. I have no idea.
I'm not even gonna attempt it. But Assault with some early shots in the middle of the map. Not able to get that first blood there, so now it's going to back his position down. But just keep in mind, this is a position where Chino really can take over. And he's going to open up with that first blood onto Afro. So now that's going to force the London Royal Ravens players to commit basically towards B, because they know the positioning out of Chino. It's going to be really difficult to get him out of that boat area. So now it's just slowly trying to work a pick towards the middle of the map. But that play most likely is going to come towards that B site.
See, PaulEhx just trying to at least lay down the lead for the moment. Prigs continue to fire throughout Miami, but nothing landing as of yet. But how about this position? Chi gonna get cut down. He's trying to be a lifeguard, but he's got no one to save other than himself. 3 versus 2 advantage for the, rather 3 versus 3 advantage for nobody. I guess you could say for the Guerrillas, considering the bomb is yet to get planted, because they are stuck once more in the middle side of the street. Assault with the visuals up top, and it's gonna be aBeZy from the flank. A few of those shots not landing when they need to. The bullets going into the palm tree, but that's about it. And with that, again, you have another spread. 2 players at B for the Ravens, 1 at A. It's Assault who wins this challenge with 5 HP. Nearly a buzzer beater type of bomb plant as Seany puts in the work. Alex is there for the coordination, and Ravens once more walk away with a heroic type round.
So they get that bomb down with about 5 seconds right there, and I think it basically just comes down to Silly. Like, Silly, you cannot allow these guys to get on this position right here. I know he was sitting towards the back alley just playing a little safe, but there's no way that they were going towards that A-bomb. Once Assault wins that one-on-one versus PaulEhx, you have to try to get vision, at least take the guy off that bomb, because you're going to win that round even if your teammate doesn't pick up that last kill. So it's unfortunate that they were able to work that bomb plant, able to solo out both players, and right there, the Ravens, they made that round basically happen. It was a 3v4, and it got the job done there. So that's a round right there with LAG. They're probably going to be thinking about it for a little while.
Yeah, I know. It has to sit on the mind of aBeZy as well. I know he put the children to bed earlier, but get a few of those shots. They don't go in the palm tree. Possibly a much different one. Just a few moments. LAG have to clean things up, but already into the garage they go. I mean, not the greatest of vehicles, but do get the job done in the end. All with an unfortunate nade. He's going to lose a bit of information still. Nobody yet to drop in this round number 4, but that is about to change as Paul does find the cheeky angle. Trying to fire through 2 walls there to secure the first blood onto Chi. And it's all he can do now is just come in and call out from the death screen as Assault quickly into the back alley, takes down Alex. Bomb looks to get planted. Ravens for the moment now look to try and group on up as here comes the double chow. Meanwhile, Seany from the back.
And just keep in mind that Seany is going to be that player right here that's going to be the key to success right here for the Ravens to try to win this round, as no player was going to be able to spot him. He has some information that he thinks that Silly's going to be camping towards that half wall, but the push is going to come in from PaulEhx from that front side. He's going to be able to spot one from top purple, but they still have yet to locate Silly. So slowly creeping up is going to be Seany. This is a huge one-on-one engagement. He's able to find it. So now it's all about just locating Silly, and that engagement is going to happen with PaulEhx. He doesn't check the corner. The accident is going to come back. Perfect play right there out of PaulEhx. Just not let the timing go not in his favor. Just plays it patiently. Make sure he stays fairly close to Seany, and they get the round done.
Yeah, great round there from the Ravens. Good coordination, kind of in the scary moments. Again, a lot of back and forth battles, but again, just some big plays out of your ARs. Talk about Seany kind of coming into this game and what he's able to bring for this roster has been kind of steadiness, right? It's been that consistent piece who's been here since the beginning. He's had a number of different teammates throughout this year. Been somewhat of a rocky stage, but goes big there. The right timing cures the kill, and so far sitting at 5-1. A 3 spree heading in round number 5, and a big round already from the Guerrillas. As you said, Stud, this is one that they have to win. Some serious potential, series potential on the line if they're not able to secure one of these. The Ravens quick toss out the utility as they now aim to go toward the garage. Once more of a slow, methodical play to start off this round.
We were talking about Seany just gaining a new nickname, at least in the keys to victory, and so far he's Party Seany. Yeah, we're so far on Miami, he's sitting at 5-1, really stepping up in the search and destroy, but here comes that push on to B. Afro gonna go for the first challenge, but some great team shots coming in from him and Alex. Fortunately, the trade is gonna be there for aBeZy. He tries to get too aggressive to try to take down Afro as well, so now it's gonna be a 2v2 situation. Afro, unfortunately, he's gonna run into the pre-aim of Chino. So now a 1v2 for Mr. Seany. Currently on a 4 spree. I think if you're Seany, you're not really too worried about losing this round. Just want to stay alive and just play your streaks to the best of your ability. He's able to find one. The engagement's going to be here, but unfortunately the challenge is going to come in from Assault as he gains that information that Seany is going to be one shot. You cannot hesitate in those situations because that will lose you the round. But the Guerrillas, they are able to clutch up there and bring this round back. Now at 3-2.
Been so many of these fights toward the back alley where it's just trade after trade after trade. Fortunately for LAG, just did not, rather, excuse me, for the Ravens, did not have the numbers toward the stretch. But Seany did give it his best effort, as we said. Party Seany. Party Seany? I don't know. You know, maybe in...
Party Seany. Yeah, I think I messed up. Party Seany, for sure.
Trying to party as well as they can. Gene over at the pool, but unfortunately no one's there with him as of yet. But who knows? As time goes on, takes on Afro to start. Good and consistent shots out of good old Martin Chino. At the start of this round, Seany has made it known that this boat is his. The catamaran belongs to him as LAG quick go for the rotation now over at B. Still looking for the information over toward top. We could have a gun engagement here very soon. The nades in early. aBeZy looking for the information, is yet to get it. Tosses out some stuns. Utility is in. The nades are in as well. Brought down to 16 HP is PaulEhx, but yet surprisingly we haven't seen as many gun engagements go down as you'd like to expect as Alex set up for one. The nice trades are in from the Ravens. Scary situations as Cheen is now able to level the overall fight to their advantage. And once more, it is Seany left in a 1 versus 2. I'm good to be planted over at the opposite side of the map. But really, if you're Seany, you know that you have the 1v1, right? With Chino revealing his position. If he can peg him down, this looks good for him. Just a matter of, is this distraction going to cause too much of a problem? Is it going to even take him down before he can go for a flank?
Yeah, nah, he's just way too committed towards this gunfight. Like, the fact that he was able to maneuver his way through the middle of the map, put down a couple shots on the Chino, he's going to have to back down. He's going to have to play his life. So that gives you the ability to change your one-on-one focus to that opposite player. But unfortunately, he just tries to commit on Chino way too much there. Allows that opposite player on his team to come up behind Seany, eventually take him down. So LAG, they tied the game up 3-3. But it was a great first blood out of Chino. Him getting some early action onto Afro towards that beach side. It obviously shook up the Ravens on their setup. You had a couple players trying to go back and forth. Seany right there in that 1v2 just wasn't his main focus to focus on the guy who planted the bomb. So eventually it cost him. But LAG, they tied up. They're going to be back on the defense. And Roy Ravens are going to be on the offense. And this is going to be an aggressive push towards this bottom garage side. You have two players from LAG who are going to be camping in towards top purple. So the engagement's going to be here nice and early for Silly. And he's going to get dropped with first blood. So now full map control, full B bomb control is going to be in favor of the Ravens.
And the problem for LAG is that they got beat the back alley. Assault, he's not even here yet. He has no information to work off of, just outside of the fact that somebody is here. The Ravens take over the site and never look back. aBeZy in a great position to maybe cause some damage. He's able to eliminate Alex. And somehow Assault wins the fight versus Paul, but 2 versus 2. 23 seconds left. Somebody has to make a move, and Afro was there for the first. And how about the second? Picking them apart is the Afro man, as the Ravens will secure it. A big round for them to take, but once more, Stud, just LAG, nowhere to be found toward the site. The only man who was there was Silly. He got ripped instantly. Good coordination and just, I guess you could say, good advancement from the Ravens to realize the situation that they were given.
Yeah, definitely a good job right there out of the Ravens, especially opening up that first blood on the Silly. And Silly so far, at least in that map number 1 and so far in this map number 2, he's not having himself a series. And when you usually expect Silly to be playing around that B bomb, I'm expecting him to be with that AR posted up in the back of that dumpster, just picking up those kills as he try to roam out of top purple. But he's trying to get a little bit more aggressive with that SMG. It's not really working out too much for him right now. But aLLeY back on the offense. They're able to spot PaulEhx in the middle, and then it's Chino with some great shots, able to get another first blood on the Paul. Now it's all about how aggressive do they decide to be towards one of these bomb sites. Keep track of number 4 in aBeZy, who's slowly creeping up towards that bottom garage area. There's only going to be one player in that position, which is going to be aLLeY camping the backside. So the push is going to come in right now from aLLeY towards this B-bomb.
And I feel like given Gene's position, Ravens have to be aware of what's up, right? Because Gene, of course, is looking for the cross. And with that, he's going to give clearance to know whether or not these Raven players who are on the opposite side of the map are going to make the rotation. Currently, Shawnee's in the midst of doing that. He reveals his position. So aLLeY, it's a matter of getting it going or just halting it. Distance back aLLeY. Is you're going to get 2 players who are not even involved in the fight so far over at B. Bomb planted once more from Guerrillas, and Sheen continues to cause problems throughout the map. But the one player who has maybe made it through, Afro. Nice challenge there onto App, but not able to win it. The headshot there from the veterans. Now it's Silly's turn, having to do it through the van. And what a sequence that is for Guerrillas. Back and forth we go as we are all square at 4.
Now that's what I'm expecting to see out of Silly. Pull out this Crimsix, slow down your gameplay, and pick up these kills that you're supposed to be doing. And that's a good 2-piece to be able to close out that round right there for aLLeY. Some early first blood coming in from Chino once again onto Paul was the key to success right there for aLLeY. But now they're back on the defense. You just got to keep in mind that one defensive round where Chino got first blood towards that beach shot and try to get aggressive towards that Tiki really cost him. So if you can get that position once again towards that beach side, you just have to try to stay alive and force these players to commit towards that B-bomb. As London and PaulEhx through the middle of the map just trying to spot a couple players. He knows that Assault and Chino like to play this, but Chino once again with another first blood. He's having himself a game.
He is, man. So these first blood engagements have really caused so many problems for the Ravens. You gotta stop peeking this guy. Just stop giving up information. Is now in a 3 versus 4, 50 seconds left, and they still have Shawnee over toward top. And if he can't find a pick, this is just going to kind of make this more awkward for London. The longer that he waits to make the rotation, the longer it's going to take for London to even push over toward this site. Again, a 2 versus 2 over at B. Shawnee having a nice little brisk walk the middle of Miami. Meanwhile, Assault's going to be there to drop him. And so with that, a 2 versus 4 in the round. There goes aLLeY. And Afro most likely waving the white flag, doing everything he can just to try and be crafty on the site, but he knows this round is going to go the way of aLLeY. I just felt like in this round study, it just felt like something should have more direct been done. Like, you dropped for the first blood, you still have Shawnee looking for information. I mean, at the best, you would have had a 2 versus 2, and I mean, I guess if you're London, like, you still have the bomb to plant, you don't know where the opposition is. It just kind of felt uncoordinated as once again, Sheen causes the problems to start.
Yeah, so once Chino pops that first blood, Shawnee has the information that Chino is going to be once again towards that A-bomb, but he's able to spot Assault in that top window. So he knows that there's 2 players on this side of the map. When he decides to rotate through that middle of the map to go back and help his teammates over at that B-bomb is exactly what costed him. Like, your job right there, Shawnee, is to just watch that cross, to let your teammates fight that 2v2 engagement. Hopefully they come out on top. But the fact that he drops middle, it allows for the players to be a little bit more aggressive. The main focus is all going to be on that B-bomb. And aLLeY, they just played it beautifully right there. Silly pulls out that Crimsix, and he's been able to at least turn this game around in a little bit for himself. Right now, aLLeY on the offense. This time Assault's going to be towards the top window. They're slowly trying to approach up this beach side as no players from the Ravens have boat control. So it's all going to be on Shawnee. You have to try to stay alive here and just give the information to your teammates to force the rotation.
Preview 1 over at A. Once more, Shawnee on the island. Make way for Assault. Make way specifically for Sheen. In these early engagements, Shawnee trying to play his life and gets player who had the bomb. So Assault falls. Meanwhile, aBeZy on the other side of the map, he's able to take one down himself. So into the 3-on-3. 15 seconds left. And the Ravens are going to be conscious of what the play is, right? They know the bomb has to be in this position. It's just a matter of how well coordinated they can be to make sure they win the fights that they have to. But with that, it now leaves aBeZy by himself. 1 versus 3. Tried to put in the shots on the Afro, but this round is going to go the other way. And just like that, we have got ourselves a round 11. We're in a situation that if you're the Ravens where you have to get to, but as we said coming into this series, round 11s have not treated London kindly. To today finally be the day they turn it around.
Yeah, they ain't got no ice, man. 0-7 in round 11s for the Ravens, so they need to turn this one around, and they're going to be on offense. So now it's all about just gaining that information nice and early on this map, trying to set in that tone and just being aggressive, because that can catch players like LAG completely off guard. And the way that London are going to play this, they're going to have a couple players going over towards that A site. LAG, they're going to be doing a typical defensive setup as Chino's going to slowly approach up on this A bomb. Assault trying to watch the middle of the map. They're just not trying to allow any player to get towards that boat side. You see the early tack use for that early information is going to come in. So now they know that beach is going to be open, but no one is trying to make a mistake right here. 5-5, this can make or break the series for either one of these teams.
Nothing to be said other than the fact that both teams looking for information, buying out in what they can get. Can Afro be the playmaker? Afro could be the playmaker. Made his way through. He just has to make sure he does not give his position away. In the top visitors, it's the early gunfight on to Cheen. As he secures that, 25 seconds are left on the clock, and the Ravens do have a good setup toward A. And you see Seany instantly going for the mid-street control, trying to take anybody he can off of the rotation. Moment of glory, possibly for the Ravens, as Afro once more. Player just toward the bottom side as Apathy gets picked. It's Assault for the instant challenge. He's able to win it, but the trades are there, and it's all left up to Silly. Justin Fargo in the 1 versus 3. Can the Ravens finally end their woes here? It looks good to do so. Silly brought down to 60 HP. And can it be the man who made the play to start off the round to secure it? And you bet Afro puts in the kill, and there is a round 11 victory for the Ravens. 2-0 now in the series.
Just such a great slow round right there out of the Ravens. The fact that they had the aggression over towards that A bomb, they used their tacticals to make sure no one had that positioning towards that boat. It allowed that opening for Afro through the middle of the map, because you saw Seany, he changes his position this time around. He doesn't go towards that top pocket, he goes towards middle purple, and he's just trying to put the main focus on towards that A window. He forces that player to back down, which gives the opening for Afro to go straight at the middle of the map, climb up to that top A building window, and eventually get that first blood onto Chino. Then that forces a couple players from LAG to hit the rotation. And LAG, it was just hard to try to bounce back after that, because that opening middle map just really cost them. If Afro's not able to at least maneuver his way towards the middle map, pop in that first blood, they have a better chance at winning that defensive round. But the Ravens, they just found that opening and they took advantage of it, and now sitting up 2-0.
Yeah, they are indeed. And again, I think if you're LAG, you're going to go back, watch some film, see some mistakes, but ultimately just Afro's playmaking ability. Like I said, do they give him the chance? They give him the opportunity. He makes his way through, and from there he breaks the setup. And that is a hard loss to take. Again, a Guerrillas team who started off the season rather, so good in search and destroy, so primed in this game, though they were feared by so many teams. And now after this stage, it just appears that it's not hardpoint, it's clearly not control, and now it just hasn't seemed to be search and destroy either. A big misstep, unfortunately, if you are a Guerrillas fan. But let's go and take a look back actually at our U.S. Army tactical play. We are going to be taking a nice little gander at round number 4 specifically. Stud, walk me through it, buddy.
So this is the round where PaulEhx, he has a little angle right there to get that first blood onto Chino. And then eventually, this is where that push comes in from Assault onto Alex in the back alley. So now it's a 3v3 situation. And you see Seany coming around that backside. PaulEhx and his teammate, Afro, working through that backside of the alley. And they're just trying to set up this pinch. And it was all on Seany right here, because Seany was in such a great position to hold these players, to not allow them to go back towards that garage side. So you know basically where these guys are going to be sitting at. Seany working through this garage is slowly going to creep up with that AR. And this is what we're talking about. Construction man Seany? Nuh-uh. Party man Seany. The guy was on point, at least in this map right here, especially in this round, because he slowly just works up these steps with his assault rifle. And even though that player has the SMG, he's going to get bad timing there. And then the time is starting to tick, and this is where I thought the timing would not work in their favor, but PaulEhx, he knows, I just have to be fairly close to my teammates to try to get this trade to at least allow me to get that defuse if he does drop, but puts himself in a great position right there to pick up that kill, and London eventually close out the map.
You see the hype coming through from the entire team. Afro, the rookie who makes the play, getting the loudest. So far, the Ravens, they are flying and frying. Is it going to be coming home as the control where they get the 3-0 sweep? Or could it be the opportunity for Guerrillas to send us to a game 4, maybe even a game 5? We'll see. Johnny's living large. Party Sharny, everybody. We'll be back right after this.
Call of Duty League is presented by T-Mobile, now America's largest and fastest 5G network. Set your sights on the competition with T-Mobile, the leader in 5G. Scuff, the official controller of the Call of Duty League. Seany, the official eyewear for the CDL. Armor your eyes with Seany Blocks blue light protection glasses by visiting seany.com/gaming.
Not a great performance from him.
I think we first pointed out he was like 2 and 10. He started. Alec, Arcitys still torching bodies as the final seconds tick away. That does it. Chicago Huntsmen are your winners at the London Home Series final.
Oh boy, I cannot wait, folks, till we are back on land. Just one of the many amazing moments that we had last year. But hey, it's going to be happening soon. But Chicago, I know that was a win at the London Home Series. Now, if we were in the Copper Box Arena right now, the crowd would be going nuts because the rookie has had a great showing so far today. And I know the stats necessarily don't indicate it right now, Stud. Just kind of looking at his numbers so far, nothing stellar. And we talked about a team that obviously has yet to win. None of the KDs are ever going to look great in that situation. But at times, you can just kind of see this guy, how he's been able to perform. Just his slaying performance at times can be impactful. And then you see the KD today, 1.63 so far.
Yeah, so ever since this guy's entered this team, obviously, they don't get the success story, the Cinderella story that everybody was hoping for. But you could just tell his energy for this team today, at least when we're looking at the player cams after every map, the guy is getting hype. And he's putting on a show today as he's sitting at a 1.6 so far throughout the series. They're going into a map number 3 where they are definitely favored on this because one side you have LAG who are 2 and 7. The opposite side, you have the Ravens who are 6 and 4 on a map like Garrison. And just the way that Afro is playing right now, you can tell he's feeling himself. The confidence is starting to get back into this young player. And this is great for a team that hasn't really seen any success throughout Stage 4 because this win right here can possibly lead into some momentum going into that major for them.
Yeah, and we talked about too, like, you are a rookie player getting brought into this team. There is some pressure because, the entirety of the Ravens fan base is looking at Afro to kind of be the saving grace. To say, okay, we're bringing in this guy. Yeah. We're excited. We saw some success in Stage 3 at the major. This guy can take us to the next level. And I'm sure, from his perspective, it's kind of hurt a little bit because you're like, we've not really seen the same instant impact that a lot of other rookies have had. And so it's no surprise to see him getting as hyped as he is, up 2-0. Can the Ravens close it out here? And a map where he has the chance to be very impactful. Very, very impactful on a map like Garrison. The SMGs oftentimes dictate the pace. One guy we can never ignore, especially in a map like this one, is going to be PaulEhx. Well, not the Craig to start, but that very well could turn into a 74U before we know it's done.
Yeah, it definitely can, man. It all depends on just that initial push. And right there, LAG, they just were not giving up anything. They were not trying to give up that first spell and let those kills start going into a chain reaction to where they are man down. So far, that's going to be 4 dead for the Ravens. Now they have to try to fight out of their base. LAG, time to push for some more map control, and that's exactly what aBeZy is going to do. He's going to be camping towards his tools area, trying to hold this doorway for his teammates. Unfortunately, he's going to get some bad timing. Afro's going to open up with that kill. Seany with the second. So now this is the opening that the Ravens were looking for.
This very well could just be another situation where somebody on the flank continues to cause problems early from the Ravens. Afro trying to do everything he can just to clear players out from their spawn. Doing a great job at it. aBeZy still in the base, hanging out, does get dealt with by Alex. Meanwhile, once more, the player that we talked about to start off this game, Afro, off to a nice start. The commentator curse there as B yet to be secured. One player on it, though, is going to be Seany. The rest of his teammates decide to fly on forward, but as he drops, it now creates a little bit more of an interesting situation here for the Ravens. Too strong, but LAG are going to go for the challenge. aBeZy once more on the flank finally does get dealt with. But halfway there, our London, it looked good. I thought for a moment that they had B secured without a doubt. You could tell they felt confident in that. Now with 10 seconds left, that conversation now becomes a little bit more dicey as Assault unfortunately becomes fried to a crisp. It's now once more all on to Alex. One sole Raven player. Over at this B point, he drops LAG. Now look to gain some more control.
Yeah, and with 5 seconds left, Chino's going to be working on a kill spree himself, so that's going to make it 6, trying to go for the 7th, but unfortunately, his teammate's going to be able to pick up that kill, but you're able to take that into the next round, and that was a good round right there at LAG, specifically Chino, because that 2-piece that he got over there towards that A site was huge. He picks up on Afro, which is the first challenge, but then the second challenge from Alex, that's a situation where if you're Alex, it's either you're committing to that gunfight and hopefully you're going to win it, but if you lose that, that means you're giving up complete top green control, and that's why the Ravens right there weren't able to capture that B point because Seany was the only player left in that position. He had to watch multiple different angles, and it just was way too much for him to handle in that situation. I would have liked Alex to just slow down, make sure that he keeps that top green control and allows his teammates to come off spawn and to try to play for that map control, but that's not what happens in LAG. They countered it perfectly. And now, like I said, Chino going into the second round on the 6th spree, trying to earn some early streaks, but unfortunately, he's going to get naded.
And what a play that is from Afro. I'm sure that he's somewhat conscious of the streak that Chino was on, as he was the one who unfortunately kind of started off what would be the demise of the rest of his Ravens teammates. But as you said, this is kind of a moment for the Ravens to realize and say, hey, for Seany, you know, veterans on this team to try to come into the comms and say, guys, play a little bit too aggressive. Let's slow things down. Let's try to make sure we're playing Call of Duty the right way and versus a team that will punish you. Now LAG yet to get an official W so far in stage 4, but an incredibly crafty team full of vets. And so far throughout this attack, they have looked excellent. Another minute on the clock. At the life count advantage for them. Overall 2 minutes to try and dissect what has to be done. Assault 0-5 to start, but if that can start to turn around, his ability to maybe find a few kills very well could be the overall difference maker. As Silly drops LAG, they halt their push for the moment.
Yeah, right now, LAG, they have 3 players who are sitting at double positive, Chino who's at triple positive. So they're basically playing man down, but it's not even a problem because you have multiple players on this map as Assault and aBeZy are able to chain a couple kills together. That's going to be 3 down, all left up to Afro on this point. He's able to find one, but unfortunately, he's going to get traded. So now LAG, they are on the point. First tick is about to come in for this A point. So now the aggression has to be here for the Ravens. You cannot allow so much time to go in favor of LAG. PaulEhx with the first blood. The trades are going back and forth. PaulEhx, unfortunately, he's going to get traded, but Alex finds 2. Seany with the 4th, and they're able to break in. Still with a manageable live count as well. Only being down 1 lives for the Ravens. Now they have map control.
Yeah, they do. At least if you're the Guerrillas, despite not getting that point, you do make a sizable dent in that A point, but never guaranteed a second chance. especially here on Garrison, as once more the Tango is in toward the backside of Lights. Position known from Paul. He's able to drop the first, and Paul has to just at least try to find one, if not two. He finds zero. Afro, in the meantime, is there for the challenge, and with that, it relies upon Seany, who's off of spawn, to try and make something happen. A big 1v1 toward the point, and once more, a sweat off the brow type of situation. If you're the Ravens, as you've cleared wave number 2, can a third time be the charm for either of these teams? Could it be the attack for Guerrillas, or once more another defensive hold as Seany is laying down the work from back tank?
And with 30 seconds left, LAG, they know that they have to go. They have to try to eliminate Seany, and that's a great first opening right there out of Silly. Now you have to fight for that bricks control and try to win a majority of these gunfights to get on towards this point to stop this clock. You can see aBeZy and Chino slowly approaching to the middle of bricks. Afro able to take down one. Seany with the second. Soul's going to be able to find one with 8 seconds left. They had to try to get on to this point. That's going to be 3 down. Last player is going to be aBeZy. That's close enough to get to the point, and the Ravens, they hold. They're able to tie this game up at 1 apiece.
And it's hard, Stud, because I feel like there's just been so many times kind of throughout this particular round where LAG, they were just one gunfight away. Like just one little situation, a certain team fight. Obviously, they get 2 ticks out of the 3. And that's kind of been the same story for them throughout attacking rounds all season long. Like, it just seems that, like, at times they have something good going, but they're just not able to get it over the finish line. And so far for LAG, I mean, the conversation continues with them on this particular area, is that they are last in attack runs. They are 9-39, which is 19%. They have the lowest attack percentage in the CDL. And again, it's just kind of the same conversation. The same thing can be said in Respawns. It's just that they can get there, but whenever it comes to getting over the edge, just kind of committing, they've just yet to get there. Big moment there for the Ravens. Able to equalize this one up as LAG gave it their best effort. Now we'll see what London can do on attack as aBeZy continues to be a problem through the middle side of the map.
That's going to be an early 2 kills going in favor of LAG as Seany's able to find one. So now that's not going to allow all of LAG to be aggressive towards the map. Alex is going to be able to find the second, but here comes aBeZy through the vent, able to take down one, and he's going to get traded. Last player for Chino is going to be towards top green. The challenge is going to be in, and PaulEhx wins it. So now that allows for a couple of Royal Ravens players to be a little bit more aggressive, but Silly, he's going to win a huge engagement on the Afro to get his team back control of top green. So now they have multiple different angles that they can attack this B point from. aBeZy coming in from Lights, able to win one. Trades going back and forth from the opposite side towards that green area as the Soul picks up another. But just right now, the Ravens are just trying to close out this B point because the Guerrillas, they do not have any green control right now, but this is one thing that they don't want to mess up this time around, is just make sure they secure this point to put all their focus on towards that A point.
The big fight going in. Got a top green right now. Paul, 2 players to try and juggle. Meanwhile, Alex has to go for the challenge, but it's Sheen who's able to put away 2. Silly for the 3rd, and how about the 4th? Just like that, the Ravens crumble. It appeared for a moment that very well could be their chance, their opener. Continue on with this attack, but again, defense has ruled so far throughout this Garrison, and can it continue again? Assault pretty much just trying to fire away any shots that he can because he knows his life is going to belong to the opponents. 2 strong onto the point. Can this be the chance now for Ravens as they've got 3? The stack is in, and Seany, he's going to have to back up, refocus, wave the white flag for the moment. Got a little bit scary there for London, but they are able to get over the finish line. Now they've got 1:15 to work with. LAG rendered unsuccessful last offense. We'll see if the Ravens can learn from their mistakes.
Yeah, it's all about just finding that first blood and trying to chain a couple of these kills together. And unfortunately, Chino's able to find Seany. Afro with the trade. So now the aggression is going to come in from the Ravens towards that brick side. Going to have aBeZy, who's going to be in a position to try to slow down this push. But he's going to drop. Assault with the trade. He knows that Afro is also going to be in this position. He's able to find 2. Silly finds the 3rd out of the player trying to run out from the front side of brick. So that's going to be the first push shut down from the Ravens. And with 45 seconds left, down 4 lives, they just have to make sure that they execute this push perfectly. You have to work around through this backside of Lights, try to open up that first blood, and then eventually chain a couple kills together to force these players to spawn out towards back tank. Seany's going to find one. Chino with the trade, and here comes the push from the Ravens towards the backside.
It's great awareness from the SMGs, but can they walk away with anything as Alex falls? And now all comes down to Afro. Just a few minor situations that if the Ravens could have had a little bit better coordination, It could have two
Get on it.
onto the point, but they're here. PaulEhx wins the big 1v1, but he gets stuck by the nade. A wonderful toss comes through from aBeZy. And now once more, it's Afro trying to do something on the flank, but he's got no teammate support. LAG look to have done this. But once more, it comes onto the Røkkr. Can he make the play? And a great game so far, and that's going to be three straight in the feed. LAG with no real support. The farthest pushed up player is going to be Assault, but he has no visuals onto the point for the time. Tossing utility, but nothing is working. They have to get
fast.
here
They
soon.
gotta go.
They've got to push. It's Afro once more for two. Paul for the third, and there we have it. Ravens, an exclamation point here on Garrison. Walk away with the attack and grab their second round.
How did they allow that to happen right there? There's 15 seconds left. The Ravens have one push. There's only one player on your side of the map that can possibly make a play, and they let him make it. Afro, he jumps up through that side archway, is able to win that huge one-on-one gunfight versus Chino on towards the point, but then aBeZy is completely out of the play. He's not in top green. He's actually going to drop, so now they have that pressure. They have the ability to jump up towards top green, and eventually they find a third kill in sequence as well. So then the Ravens, they just stack the point, and it's over from LAG. LAG, we need to close that round out right there. That cannot happen.
Tell me it's not acceptable, Stud. Is that right?
It's unacceptable, man. Unacceptable.
Oh, man. LAG in need of a major rebound, and now it comes onto their attack to keep them alive. Not just in this map, but in this series. One round away are the Ravens. Again, a veteran-like roster. Guerrillas have been in this situation many times. In fact, the core has and multiple titles to go through things like this as they quickly rally to start off this round and look good to secure this one over at B. And we'll lock in the time. And so here we go. LAG, another opportunity on attack. Yeah, much more time to work with. Just a matter of when can it occur, when can it happen, and as Assault drops from top green, Afro is there just to cause some more damage. LAG, in some ways, licking their wounds, going back, and aBeZy drops. To reassess the situation, back to the drawing board if you're the Guerrillas.
Now it's all about just trying to get out of your spawn. And this is what the Ravens, they got the job done last time they were on defense, a 2-minute hold. This is exactly what they're going to try to do here. The only thing is, they're trapped. They need to try to win these engagements and be a little bit more aggressive towards the middle of the map and start setting up some spawn kills. Because right now, LAG, they have map control. Seany is going to slowly creep up in towards bricks. Chino's going to be able to open up with the first blood. So there's going to be two players on this point. Afro wins a huge one-on-one versus aBeZy, and PaulEhx with the trade on the Chino. So now this should give them the ability to start being a little more aggressive. They just have to locate this one player. And unfortunately, Silly's going to get put on a Huke mixtape right there out of Party Sharny. He's going to win that engagement, and now that forces LAG to work towards the middle of the map. A minute left on this clock. LAG are down by a life. I see a couple players approaching towards that back tank area, trying to fight towards that back bricks. A couple players from the Ravens are going to be in this position. Alex and Shawnee working in sync, trying to eliminate these players from the backside. They're able to find one. Shawnee gets traded, so now it's a 2v2. Both players on this point have to try to stay alive. This is basically the last push from LAG that they have here.
You see they instantly focus their attention toward the spawns. They want to try to guarantee themselves some time. A big 1v1, and Silly's able to win it. So with that, it's a 3 versus 2 onto the point. Now it's all left up to Paul. And with that, LAG, control in their hands. Time stopped at 25 and some change. And the Ravens are going to have to do something worthwhile. Once again, the stack is in. You see the discomfort from the Ravens side as they have to get something going. A few pushes need to be inbound, but once more, aBeZy goes big on the flank, shuts down Shawnee. And despite some heroic plays, despite what was a commanding defensive effort, it will be LAG who win attack. Back and forth these teams have been, both in defense and now on offense. And we have got ourselves a round 5 inbound.
And I'm pretty sure that LAG, at least the progression that they were able to get on their very first offensive round, will give them defense on this round number 5. So you cannot let a choke like that happen again. You cannot allow one player to be the playmaker to allow his teammates to eventually get onto that point. So it's all about just making sure that you're staying aggressive towards the middle of the map. When you're getting those 3-4, 3 kills or 4 kills at the same exact time, you have to push up and fight for map control. It's better to die on their side of the map than it is to die on your very own. So now with London, they're going to be on the offense. LAG, they've done a great job of just making sure that their initial pushes, at least on their defensive rounds, have been slow and steady. They're not trying to make any mistakes, not trying to give up any first bloods. You're going to see 2 players from LAG camping towards top green. Unfortunately, Seany's going to be able to pick apart Silly. Trade comes in from Chino onto PaulEhx, but some early progression, at least some early work coming in from the Ravens on towards this B point. They're trying to extend it by a minute.
Nice shot from Afro. He and Alex
3 dead.
Working in tandem together well, and they're just instantly going to go for this. They're instantly going for the spawn kills as well. Nice shots once more from the Røkkr. aBeZy up close has to go big instantly, so it's both A and B. This looks like vintage control from this Ravens roster. So chaotic in their attacks, looking more like themselves every single map it seems. But again, the vets have to go big, and this time it's Silly who's able to do so. B still at the hands of London, and that will go in their hands. So with that, 2 minutes on the clock, work with for London. Can it be 3 straight attack rounds here on Garrison? Or will defense win out on a team who has relied so heavily in this particular department? Their setups, what they cater themselves on the most. aBeZy puts through the first, assault with the second. London, first wave down.
Alex is able to find one, but he's going to drop. So now this is the opening that LAG we're looking forward to. Fortunately, Silly, he's going to be able to take down one before he drops. So they're not able to get full map control, but you see aBeZy slowly creeping up through that fence area. Should be able to pick up one, trying to take down the second, but he's going to get traded. And just so far, LAG, they're just keeping map control, at least getting the kills when they need to. Trading back and forth is the best they can do. Alex is going to be able to find assault towards the middle of the map, so now the opening push towards bricks is going to come in for the Ravens. It's all about just finding this one-on-one kill. And he's able to actually sniff out aBeZy in that corner. So now it's going to have assault that's going to be playing towards the back of the spawn. Alex knows exactly what situation he's in. It's all about setting up for these spawn kills. Able to get that trade onto assault. Now you have to focus on aBeZy, but he's going to spot him. And aBeZy's going to get the trade. And so far, with a minute left, LAG are still holding. The defense is strong.
1 minute down. So far, it's just been LAG with the trades. LAG just with the clearance. Great job in the first half, but how do Ravens learn from it? With this particular position from assault, this could cause issues. The Ravens, you have to just try to push through it, or if you could take them down, that would be even better. 1, maybe 2 more pushes left for London. Could this be the one? Johnny goes to the challenge onto assault, but he's able to win it. Big gunfight win there for LAG as Alex drops as well. 20 seconds left, and Paul also falls, and you can see for the Ravens, something has to be done. They've got to get going. 12 seconds. They may know that this one's already over. They have to do something. The mantle, everything has to be in. Trying to call a quick audible. Machine is there for the quick pick. How great has he been so far with the Krig? It's all on to Afro, on to the point. Final player alive is going to be Alex, and he gets dealt with. LAG, they stay alive in this series. With the skin of their teeth, they get the job done, and they hold out here on Garrison. We've got ourselves a game 4. No sweep today for the Ravens.
Oh, nice little game 4. That one would have hurt right there if LAG would have lost that, because that last round, at least on their defense, they should have been able to close this out 3-1. But at least they have the ice in their veins to close it out if it gets to around 11. To around 5, and they're able to close it out in the final moments. And right there was just all about just making sure that you were picking up your kills. Like the fact that aBeZy was sliding around through bricks and making sure he's playing his life beautifully, but then at least picking up 1 or 2 kills. It's exactly what you need to be able to do. Just shut down that push from the Ravens, have them a little bit scattered, and then force those players to come off spawn to try to make a play. And that's just something that LAG just did so well. They never let the Ravens get comfortable on their offense. They always were trading kills back and forth, and that's why they were able to close out that map number 3, forcing it into a map number 4, staying alive in this series.
Staying alive they do. Obviously for the Ravens, kind of unfortunate because it just looked like it was their moment, right? They had the defense coming into that round number 5, but LAG just a little bit too crafty. Good work from them down the stretch as they're able to hold things off for now, and you already kind of see veterans speaking up. Seany already getting involved in the comms. For the Guerrilla side, I think it was aBeZy and Silly already talking talk about what is going to have to be a regain for both these teams coming into game 4. A lot on the line when it comes down to this group. Both teams in hunt for their first victory. Can it be Ravens? Can it be LAG? Checkmate Hardpoint is up next. You do not want to miss this.
The 2021 season with a statement. That's a 3-0 over the LA Thieves.
I don't know about you, sir. I just took a quick little look at my pick'ems. I'm a little bit worried. I actually have LAG winning this. How are you doing so far in pick'ems? So far throughout the LA Thieves Home Series, good? And
I'm looking pretty good.
Okay, all right.
I'm looking pretty good, man. I got London 3-1, so
right.
So far they're on track to try to at least give me the perfect score.
I'm looking for some trophies. I got second place in the last two talent pick'ems, and you know, I'm hoping to get first in the podium. Who knows? But so far, we got to take a look at hardpoint ranks for LAG because they've not necessarily been on top of the podium either. Really just a number of different, kind of sequences that we talked about, players kind of struggling. Obviously, you see Assault with the 1.02, but just the overall team consistency is yet to be there in HP. And as we said, Stud, LAG have yet to win a hardpoint so far.
Yeah, they have it, man. And on the opposite side, you have the Ravens hardpoint KD ranks, and you see they are a little bit better. You don't have a player who's sitting around that 46, 47, 48 spot, so they're a little bit more consistent in this game mode, and it's the only thing that LAG really need to look forward to in this map is just their setups. They cannot allow the Ravens to break in immediately and then get that remaining 50 seconds.
Yeah.
Like, that just can't happen because a map like Checkmate, spawns are everything. You need to make sure that you're keeping your spawns, playing a little bit safe, and being aggressive when you need to. Make sure that right off the rip, you cannot allow for 4 dead, allow that spawn to be flipped, because then the game can get out of hand nice and early. And just off the way the Ravens played that first map, they're in sync, at least in this game mode. So this is going to be really difficult for LAG. They need to have a consistent team effort across the board here if they want to force it to a game 5.
Do you have a preference? Do you have a team you think walks away with this? Are we going to game 5, or is it the Ravens who get the job done here, Stud?
The way the Ravens, at least the way that they played in that first map, the Ravens came out with a different spark of energy.
Yeah,
and LAG, they look like they just were able to wake up after that map number 3. So it's all going to come down to just the way this initial start is going to be.
Paul is awake.
The way that the Ravens are able to approach this. Yeah, you see this guy snapping. He said, oh yeah, I went double negative last map. Cannot allow that to happen here. So it's all about just turning up here. And this initial push, like I said, is going to tell me everything. To tell what aggressive tone is going to be set right off the rip.
Yeah, as we said, you're just joining us, that Opening hardpoint by no means was a solid one. If you are a Guerrillas fan, 250 to 68. That one being on raid, as if LG can right their wrongs, and there were quite a few wrongs, just to, you know, make sure we run it the proper way. Already off the start, I want to say that, was that a spawn flip to start that? I want to say it was Guerrillas on the opposite side, so even by how fast it was, it already caught me off guard. London, they're doing the right things.
Yeah, now it's all about just trying to contest down this P1 hardpoint, not giving a lot of time to LAG, as LAG are able to find 3 kills. Just remaining 15 seconds should go in favor of them. Now they have to just locate this #1 player in Chino, who's already snuck his way through the back. And no player from the Ravens are going to be able to read this. And this is a great play right here out of Chino, as he's waiting for that initial hill, for that P2 to pop before the action starts to go down. But unfortunately, his teammates are dropping all over the map. He has to try to get into this play. He's able to take down Seany off that point and eventually force that spawn for aBeZy towards that backside. So now this is the play that they need to try to come out on top of. As aBeZy, he's going to be able to take down one before he's traded. Chino's going to have the engagement, and unfortunately, he's going to lose it. So at least the Ravens are able to slow down that push and keep the spawns, and are able to at least get this 40 seconds here.
What could have been a major play from Sheen. Thankfully, Seany's teammates able to pick up from where he left off. Is now London in a good spot to go ahead and pile on the seconds, as Silly decides to go and be the first player on in, as he quickly drops. Sheen from afar is trying to lay down the work, and now will allow for a little bit of space from Assault, but just with how close that spawn is. The reason why we talked about P2 being a money hill on this is with how close the enemy can spawn if you are trying to attack it. And the Ravens will take the advantage that LAG allowed for them to have based on how quick that P1 got away from them. Again, this score very well could be flipped in favor of LAG, but now we head in toward P3. Much different hill. I think it's fair to say, Stud, despite, you know, a few of the issues from Guerrillas, they're at least playing better than they did in the first hardpoint.
They definitely are, man, because they are holding their setups, and right there, they were able to at least chain 3 kills together to get some good time off of that, but PaulEhx is able to find 2. That's going to put him on a 2 spree, 7-3 so far on the map. Ravens are still just keeping up that pressure towards the bottom middle of the map, and now that forces all of LAG to fight through top lane, and it's going to be a really difficult situation now that you have 2 players spawning out towards yellow. The spawns have been flipped on the side of the Ravens, getting a good chunk of time here, and they should be able to chain it to that P4. They just have to keep track of where aBeZy is, who's currently sitting in that back plane exit area. They can find this kill, it'd be great, but aBeZy's going to be able to find that one. Now the pinch is going to be in, as they're going to force a couple from Raven players to spawn out towards that back blue side.
A solid start for London. LAG fighting for their lives right now in this series. Let's go and step aside and go ahead and go to an Astro listening with the Guerrillas.
It's absolutely last time. Last time. They don't have trophy.
You went that side hill.
Stay down, try to wait. One plane. Give him a mid, give him a mid. He's Anthony. Out plane. I'll Sean dead. Top A. He's not weak. Sean is at this side. I hit him once. He's there.
Their side, Sean, dead.
Nice. We're missing one. I'm getting right. Make sure you have right as well. I've right.
Okay, when he's there.
Stay down, Brian. Stay down.
Front two.
You guys have full flash. Not. Unless they do. Bro, he's 4 clip now. He's there.
Cross truck back to Seany.
Afro, one shot. We're top wing. Paul, we can play.
We're back in plane. 2 in plane. There might be 2 planes. Yeah.
Last 2 right, guys.
Last 2 right.
I got one.
Seany and Paul. Paul's there too.
You. Still you. He has a trophy now. Cross radio weak. Really weak radio, guys.
Why top A wing, I think?
He's middle point. Middle A point. Radio. He's hitting through mid.
Radio.
I'm wrapping radio with you. Yep, I am. Sampler's left. One's front.
He's in radio.
Alex, one shot back steps. Sean dead. He's still back steps. I'm with you. Alright, one front back steps. I spawned out. I killed it.
One more on you.
I'm dead. That's the trophy's on time. He's in time. He's got a trophy in there.
I'm working right.
One more trophy.
Playing. They could be. We're gonna jump a B-wing.
Over. B-wing, Alex dead. Should we play? Trophy gone, guys. Trophy gone. Hard flash. Come on, push back.
Seany back right pillar.
He's wood. I see Sean. Wood in time. Sean's still there. Paul, kill me wood. Paul's right side wood in the window. He's left part of U hill. Wood at Paul dead. One's back repeating Alex. He's Alex is going plane. I'm playing with you. Left. Dashy, Sheen to hold off. I'm getting right.
Dead.
Down on the wall dead. He's back steps already. Back steps. I didn't hit him.
Well, Stud, it appears that the sense of urgency is there from the Guerrillas. You can hear it from themselves in the comms, but the comms are not allowing for them to still walk away with these early hard points. Like, again, it's just at times they hold control, they look to be in a good spot, and they just allow for the Ravens to break on in.
Yeah, so right there, they sound real energetic in their comms. Like, they sound like they're locked into this game. They're just letting players on the side of the Ravens make plays. Like, the fact that PaulEhx, he was the only player rotated towards that P5, snuck his way towards that back radio building, and was able to just stay alive the entire time to eventually allow his teammates to eventually get a couple kills around the map, and then force those players from LAG to spawn out immediately. So that's why you see the Ravens were able to get a full 60 onto that P5. Contention is going right now back and forth between both teams in this P1, and if you're LAG, you cannot mess up this time around. You have to make sure that you're keeping those spawns for P2, because you cannot allow this flip to come in and the Ravens to grow this lead anymore.
What Afro's doing. Look at what London.
But they let it.
Yeah,
It happens.
It happens the exact same way. Afro makes his way up toward A Street. A few of the fights go down, and now another flip is in. Back-to-back hills where LAG look to be in a prime spot, and London are taking advantage of the opportunity that they've been given. What could have been a hill that instantly brings back LAG. I was thinking in my head, I was like, okay, if they get a full 60, they're going to be, what, down 10, maybe 15 seconds coming into P3. But now that all gets wiped away, LAG have to converge onto the hill, and they have to get here soon. Time going the opposite direction cannot continue to occur, as Afro has some words for Silly. Meanwhile, it's Paul making his way through the point. Cheen with a nice kill through the wood is not going to equal out to much, as the Ravens once more swoop inside of the hill and grab another money hill. Lead more established than ever. And with these last 20 seconds inbound, it seems as if it's all going to go the way of Ravens. Now has to be the time, stud. LAG, they have to play perfect hard point from here, it seems.
Yeah, they got to turn up from this one on. You cannot allow these setups to get broken anymore. I'm actually getting mad because these are professional players. These are world champions on this team, so they know exactly what they need to do. They're just not executing it right now. So they need to be able to bounce back off of this hard point. And right now, Ravens are going to be early set up in towards this P3. Trades going back and forth. They're already up by 100 points. And this is just not the scoreline I was expecting to see. The way that LAG have been at least started this game out.
Yeah, not the
3 kills going to go in favor of LAG. They're doing a good job of just holding down this hard point for the time being. Finally able to approach that 100-point mark. They're still keeping the spawns for the Ravens towards that back yellow. Right now, LAG are really flipping this switch and are turning up in this game.
What they have to do, though, and just like that, 3 players quickly enter in from the side toward B wing after they have to play damage control. And he's able to do it for the moment. Afro has some words, tries to pick up where his fallen comrades left off, but now the spotlight gets issued over toward the A Street. Once more, LAG, they have to go big. This could be the opportunity for them. They play well at A Street. They can hold on to P5 spawns. We very well could have ourselves a game. A nice turn on there for Silly, as that hill now for the moment remains vacant. And Afro and Alex will be happy to, rather Afro and Paul will be happy to hop inside of this hill if it's open for the time. As they'll reach the double century mark, LAG constantly fighting from the back foot. Big situation where it will be Cheen picking up from where the squad mates left off. Guerrillas holding on.
They're in a great situation now. They're only down by about 80 points. All they have to do is just win a couple engagements towards this P4. Kills going back and forth. Shawnee's able to take down Silly. So now it's going to be a 1v1. He's able to find that kill onto Assault as well. So now this remaining time is going to go in favor of the Ravens. It's going to force LAG to hit that rotation, but they know they cannot allow the Ravens to get this much junk time because they saw the way that they were able to break in right off the rip of that early P5. And that's not a good start, as Alex is able to find 2. aBeZy at least able to slow down that pressure and find 2 of his own. So they're able to keep those spawns. You just have to keep track of Chino, that player who spawned out. Going to be set up for that pinch, trying to put down some early shots. Unfortunately, the flashbang is going to come in. Shawnee's able to take him down. But this time around, LAG are going to be early set up. Now it's all about just holding this push from the Ravens, which you have 3 players approaching that backside trying to flip those spawns.
That's going to be a nice 3 down. 100 seconds. Ravens are up. And I know the conversation has been around LAG. They just have to hold these money hills. They've let them go 3 times now. aBeZy tries to get crafty.
No.
They're on the A wing, but he gets dropped. Assault, meanwhile, has to hop into the point. Why? Because they have to get the seconds. But here comes the nade over top, and that could be another break. Another opening here for London as Alex makes his way inside. LAG, some sort of panic now beginning to start to instill. Less than 20 seconds left, and Alex is picking them apart. Trophies, kills, you name it. It's going the way of Ravens. And with that, it's going to put them in a wonderful situation to most likely close out this game 244 to 160 as we come back toward P1. LAG, they've got to do something. Sheen with a nice turn on. He and aBeZy trying to stay alive together, but it's just the coordination, it's the kills. The Ravens flying high as Seany spreads his wings, and it will be a Ravens W. Put it in the books. It's coming home here.
It's coming home, man. Finally for the Ravens. You see the players is all getting out of their chairs, really excited. I can't even imagine this feeling for a player like Afro. You know, making his rookie entrance this year throughout the beginning of that stage, not getting a single win underneath your belt had to be a terrible feeling because you're probably sitting there thinking, oh, am I doing what I need to do? Am I the right fit for this team? But obviously, you go through a couple matches, you get better, you get more repetitions as a team, and eventually they finally get a win. So you're going to see the energy on the side of the Ravens just go through the roof. As that feeling for Afro, especially because he had a great series from start to finish, man. Really just took over this series on the side of PaulEhx, who really stepped up in that AR. But the Ravens, they're able to secure that win with just great hardpoint play. On the opposite side, you have LAG, who are consistently just kept their hardpoint game struggles the entire time. Now that's going to put them at 0-9. I'm pretty sure in their last couple of hardpoint game, which is not good, and it's just terrible. It's terrible when you're talking about their setups, man, because these guys have veterans on this team. They've been playing hardpoint for years. They should know how they want to properly set up on these hardpoints. They're just having a hard time executing, and unfortunately, not going to be able to get a win in this stage here.
Yeah, it's gotta hurt again if you're LAG. We talk about the hardpoint struggles. We talk about just going winless throughout this stage, at least in regards to the regular season. Now with LAN coming up, like how does that kind of affect this team? Maybe it kind of instills them with some confidence to have somewhat of a different look. You're not going to be, just hanging out in your bedroom. You actually have the opportunity to be in a set, but oh man, that has to hurt without a doubt. But with the results that are going down, you also notice NYSL have in fact secured top 8 for playoffs. I know that may sound really random, but just based off the results, based off how a few different things are kind of laying out, and with the Guerrillas losing in this particular situation, it does allow for New York to have top 8 established coming in toward the end of the season. But now we got to talk about our scuff play of the game. I mean, what, man? Just a number of different plays from London, just a number of different great situations for them where they're breaking money hills. It just looked at times effortless, which we should be able to say that, Stud.
Yeah, it definitely shouldn't be that easy. Like the fact that you saw LAG early off this rotation, they were that team that was fully set up. The only thing is 3 players go down, and then eventually the 4th goes down, and the Ravens are able to break right on in, keep that map control, and just keep the kills coming in their favor and flipping those spawns. And it's just really hard right now for LAG to just use their teamwork in hardpoint because they're consistently playing from the back foot. Everyone is going to have bad stats when you're playing with the bad spawns, when you're not winning your one-on-one engagements. It's just going to be a really difficult game from start to finish. And right now, they're just in a hardpoint slump. They need to get out of it going into that Major 4.
Yeah. And you see the hype on the side for Ravens. Though we talked about it consistently so far throughout this game. It was Afro getting loud after game 1, getting loud after game 2, and getting loud here after game 4. As I know we talked about the standings, or rather kind of talked about their performance so far. Not been great, right? You lose 4 in a row, but at times you as a team, when you're adding a number of different players to your roster, you're just looking for some bit of momentum to go off of, and that very well could be exactly what the Ravens need. What they kind of need to be on their plate is a W as they get the job done here for LAG. And I know for their side, their road to the major, not looking nearly as solid, as it will be an 0-5 performance here for them. Just a number of different moments we're talking about could have happened here, could have happened there, but it's hard to avoid that, as we discussed. 0-8 in the hard points. The respawns have just not been there. In the search and destroy, they've not been able to rely on that either.
Yeah, and when you're looking at LAG, just they couldn't get a win throughout all of stage 4. So their backbone has to be like, if we don't perform at this Major 4, something has to change. Like, there needs to be a roster change. There's no way these guys were able to come into this stage and not win a single thing. Obviously, you see the Group B standings here. It was a tough group because you have New York, you have Florida, you have Toronto, who with New York and Toronto, those are the top 3 teams in the game that we have there. Florida, they've been playing really well. Dallas, who are with the pickup of Vivid, have finally starting to find their footing. And it's just been a difficult group for them to try to fight out of. But LAG, like I said, man, it's just really difficult when you're not getting any wins in the stage and then you're going into a major with no confidence, nothing underneath your belt. The only thing they have to look forward to is that they're going back to LAN. So hopefully that's the answer that this team is looking for.
Yeah, at the very least, it feels like a vacation. It almost kind of feels like that at this point. It's like, okay, we did go 1-5 in the stage, or you know, whatever. But hey, at the least, we got LAN coming up, which of course is a lot to be excited about. A lot to be excited about when we talk about a number of different players to look out for in that LAN environment. And one that's really exciting for me is going to be that man Afro. And in fact, he's actually going to be joining alongside by iLLeY after this quick commercial break. It's got to be a stoked young rookie getting his first dub in the CDL. We'll be back with that.
He's smiling.
Hello everybody and welcome to your Game Fuel Victory Spotlight. Joining me I have Afro from London Royal Ravens. Afro, it's so lovely to have you joining me. First time, I am so excited to speak to you and I'm very excited about that win because you guys have been so close to getting wins and it just hasn't been able to happen. But finally we have one on the board for you guys. How nice is it for you guys to get this dub heading into the major?
Massive confidence boost, really big confidence boost. I think obviously after the few losses we had, well, four losses we had, confidence was a bit down, so at least getting the win just before the major helps us a lot.
Definitely. Now, Afro, we've had our eye on you, my dude. You have been frying. You're an incredible talent, and it's so good to see, you know, really like utilising that on the roster. Now, you got called up not that long ago, so what's the transition been like for you?
To be honest, it's been quite hard because the two different play styles from NA to EU is quite completely different. But I'm slowly getting there. I think I still need a little bit more time, but I think give me a bit more time and I think I'll be better, 100%.
I love that. I don't know how much better you can get, Afro, to be honest. You're looking pretty good out there, not going to lie. Now, I have a final question for you, my friend. What is a good piece of advice that you could give to a talented rookie coming up from challenges? Is there anything that you can give them?
Be accountable for your mistakes, I'd probably say. Someone tells you do something wrong, just make sure you be accountable for it. Yeah, that's one of the big problems, challenges.
I like that. I like that. Be accountable. Never get complacent. Always be willing to learn. I like that, Afro. Appreciate that. Thank you so much for joining us. It was an absolute pleasure to have you on, and best of luck.
Thank you for having me. Thank you for having me. Thank you. Have a good day.
Gosh, he's very polite, isn't he? He's very polite. See, that is what we do in the UK. We're very polite in the UK. I appreciate you, Afro. Thank you so much. Well, I'll tell you what, folks, we have an absolute banger coming up next. When I say a banger, I promise it's a banger. We have FaZe versus Røkkr. This is for #1 seed in the winners bracket. This is massive. It's all or nothing right now for these two teams, and they're gunning for that first place. We'll see you guys right after the break.
Call of Duty League is brought to you by GameFuel. Unlock a CDL team pack with any purchase on gamefuel.com/CDL while supplies last. Offer ends on August 31st. Tournament audio and team listen-ins are powered by Astro Gaming, the official headset and mix amp of the Call of Duty League.
Hello and welcome back to a beautiful view of the Hollywood Hills as we get ready for an incredible matchup. A matchup that will decide who is going to take first place in the group. We've got FaZe versus Røkkr coming up. A shot of both of our squads, and Joe, I can't wait to get into it.
No, it should be a great match between these two teams. Obviously for Atlanta FaZe, goal is to, keep it rolling, keep doing what they're doing. And for Minnesota Røkkr, what a bounce backstage it has been for them. They make that change, and it has worked out here on our Astro social soundboard. I've waited for this match all season, right? Priestahh versus FaZe.